Welcome, Ralph, to the World Massage Conference.
Well, thank you, Scott. It's an honor to be here. I'm very excited to be part of this fabulous event in our profession.
We greatly appreciate you making time for us to be here.
All right. Well, what do we do next?
We're ready to go. You just let
Okay.
me, I can advance the slides for you.
All right. Very good. Well, again, thank you so much for inviting me and allowing me to participate in this conference. And if we can go to the next slide, please. Thank you, especially all of you out there on the net, out there in the world that are participating in the conference, and thank you for choosing this presentation. I'm very honored to be able to share this information with you. You had many choices, and I thank you for choosing this. My goal is that we can have some fun this afternoon or morning, whenever it is, wherever you are, and learn something in the process, and if we do that, I will have been successful. May we have the next slide, please. This program is about a common postural syndrome that about 90% of the people who come to me for help with their pain tend to have. Over and over again, I've seen this condition no matter what their complaint happens to be. Next slide, please. It doesn't matter what their complaint is. It might be pain in their foot or their knee or their hip, low back, shoulder complaints, neck pain, headaches, even carpal tunnel syndrome. Next slide, please. They almost all have this similar pattern in their body, and I really believe that it is one of the major patterns that is associated with soft tissue pain. Next slide, please. The other thing about people who have this pattern is their pain tends to come back. I'm sure you've all had clients come to you with a headache or a shoulder pain, and you worked on them, and by the time you got done, they felt great. Pain was gone. They felt wonderful, and yet in an hour or a few days or a week, their pain comes back, and you see them again, same thing happens. Over and over, their pain tends to return. Why does pain keep coming back? Well, I've thought about this long and hard, believe me, and next slide, please. I believe that there are 4 reasons that pain comes back. The first is postural distortion, and that's going to be the primary focus of this program today, and we'll talk more about what that is as we go along. The other thing, of course, is repetitive life activities. I once worked with a doctor who was in a research project, and she was sitting on a lab stool looking down through a microscope for 6-7 hours a day. Of course, she had reoccurring suboccipital trigger point headaches, and as long as she continued doing that activity, she was bound to have that kind of pain return. So repetitive activities sometimes just need maintenance until they can either change that activity or we just have to maintain them. Understand that patterns in the body are habits, and it takes about 30 days to break an old habit and to learn a new one. And so oftentimes their pain will come back because the body falls back into its old habit. That habit has to be broken and the new habit reinforced, and it takes about 30 days to accomplish that. So a lot of times it does take some time, especially in chronic conditions, to reprogram them so that the pain doesn't come back. The fourth condition is emotional states or conditions that they may have. This is often beyond our scope of practice. As massage therapists, we're not counselors unless you have counseling credentials in addition to your massage credentials. And so if you see that there seems to be an emotional condition or state, or you just can't seem to figure out why this pain keeps returning or they keep having these injuries, sometimes it's good to refer them for counseling and someone who can help them figure out things on an emotional level. Next slide, please. This session, we're going to focus on the particular pattern of postural distortion and how it results in soft tissue imbalances resulting in pain. Postural distortion is one of the main things that I see as causing pain and injury in athletes as well as couch potatoes. Next slide, please. We're going to define postural distortion today as movement of the body off the mid-sagittal, coronal, and horizontal planes due to muscular imbalances. Next slide, please. In this picture of the skeletal chart published by the Chicago Anatomical Chart Company and drawn by Dr. Peter Bachin, we can see these anatomical planes. The drawing on the left, or the front view, and the drawing on the right, the back view, demonstrate the mid-sagittal plane. The side view drawing in the middle is the coronal plane. The horizontal plane runs parallel to your desktop or floor, and in the body, for example, everything that is bilateral in the body, the shoulders should be on the horizontal plane. The shoulders should be level or the same height.